I don't think I mentioned it last time, but if I had gotten all the way through Black Tower, which I think only had two more areas, now that I've checked a few days ago, if I'd gotten all the way through and beaten Benga, I think he would have given me a shiny Gibble. Guaranteed shiny. I think it's shiny Dratini in white 2, Gibble in black 2. I might have them backwards, but I don't think I do. Anyway, thanks to the mysterious forces at work here in Black City, a place that I'm reasonably happy to leave behind now, I think there's been some doubt cast on whether I'm really the strongest trainer in the Unova region. So, time to test that, I think, and what better way than a league rematch? But I think I could use a warm-up before that, which is why I'm going to Nimbasa City to see what kind of trainers there are in the athletic facilities right now. So that's the plan. Warm up in the athletic facilities, and then the league. And I don't remember what kind of levels they have, but hopefully nothing too crazy. Tobacco the Lopunny did kind of run away with a bunch of experience last time, so that's good. What are you doing back here? You're not a trainer, are you? Or you're a ball boy who collects balls. Okay. These are all trainers, just like in Black and White. A whole bunch more in the post-game than there were before. What's in the second slot of my party? I think it's a Tobacco. Well, it's not the worst thing to have a ringer. And also, that gets the amulet coin into this battle, so let's do it. I don't think I care what these... maybe I should, for the sake of the premises of this series, care what these interchangeable sports facility trainers are saying, but I don't know. I think I was just talking about his power serve. Okay, their levels are low 60s, so I should be fine here for some quick experience, but I've not brought, there we go, great Pokemon to use against a Jellicent. I can do this, turn 1. Hit the Zebstrika with return. And then poison the Jellicent. You know what? North York is at level 65. Some of my Pokemon are pretty close to 70. Some of them are over 70, but most are not. I think it would be reasonable here. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna Signal Beam. It resists both of North York's attacks anyway. I think it would be reasonable to give the experience share to someone. Someone like this. Unless East York gets to level 70 right here in this battle. Black Tower... Okay, that won't happen. Black Tower was at least some pretty good training. Can't argue with that. Kind of a stressful... Well, some areas were very easy. And then some areas were kind of stressful. And it was not linear, right? Like, Area 8 was... No, I think 9 was the one I failed on, right? So 7 was way more stressful than 8. That's what I mean. I think there are 10, so if I'm misremembering which one I failed on, then I misremembered earlier how many were left, but I think I failed on number 9. Anyway. You know what? North York is lagging a bit behind the rest of the team. I think North York can keep the experience share for now. But I shouldn't be too shy about switching East York or Scarborough in. This guy wants a fishing stadium. It's a perfectly respectable sport. I guess you'd have to artificially... Like, you'd have to have wild Pokemon or fish, but animals in the Pokemon universe, I don't know. Not a subject that's been delved into much. You'd have to have Pokemon for them to fish up in an indoor space, but it's not like that's implausible in this universe. Back in, like, Gen 2, maybe Gen 1, but definitely Gen 2, because I remember doing it then. You could fish up wild Pokemon in Misty's gym. I don't think it was supposed to be that way. I think they just didn't distinguish between patches of water correctly. But yeah, pretty sure I caught a Staryu in there and then showed it to Bill's grandfather up on the Cape. So we know wild Pokemon in an indoor space is totally plausible. Maybe there should be a fishing stadium. How often do you see Gorbis in the games, by the way? What an interesting Pokemon for this trainer to have. But I guess he's a serious fisherman. That is a deep sea mon. You know this guy is a super rod. That's doing some damage too. North York is in trouble. There we go. Maybe my ice type wasn't the best pick against the fisherman. What if I get another Signal Beam Confusion? Have I confused both of his other two Pokemon? I think so. And Huntail is a pretty good attack stat. Okay. Alright, we'll switch North York out here. Go with Scarborough. I can Thunderbolt it. So yeah, these trainers are giving some decent experience, but they're not too difficult at this point after Black Tower. Nice little warm-up before... Oh, he has a fourth Pokemon, I didn't even notice. Nice little warm-up before the league, like I said. I don't remember what the league is going to be like. Probably tougher than this. But only 5 trainers to beat. And I really have no qualms about spamming items once I'm in the league, if that's what it takes. He gave me a dive ball, nice. I still don't have a super rod though, do I? He could have given me that. This guy likes the movement of living things, which I'm taking to mean that he's a sports fan, because he's in a sports place saying that. He's also an artist, so I guess he paints sports scenes. That came off kind of weird without that context. Anyway, Speargull has like no stats, so yep, Ice Beam one-shots, perfect. That's a very good Pokemon, but not for stats. And he gave me some art in the form of an Ultra Ball. I'm not asking questions, Ultra Balls are useful. Now we've got a lady who will battle elegantly. Ball Toy, I can Ice Beam that. Sylvan had to go back and heal, even though North York took a bunch of damage from that Gorbis. This might do it. I'm staying in and using Ice Beam. This is actually pretty close in level. Alright, and then again, we go to somebody who's almost at level 70. Because that's good use of the experience right now, I think. Obviously, level 70 is not happening against this, but progress is progress. Nice drop. Doesn't really matter. I'm just using Psychic again here. Oh. Wasn't sure whether that Wild Charge would KO, but nope. Clutch survive. GG to this elegant lady. She elegantly gave me a Zinc as a gift. But because I'm a lady, wah! Eh, she's trying. 5 more trainers in here. Let's go heal North York. Yes, I was trying to exit right in the center of the path, and yes, I completely messed that up in 2 different directions. Glad you saw that. We got a medal? Or am I just getting baited with hint medals again? I think all those Black Tower shenanigans, I mean, I didn't get all the way to the end, but I still think they were worthy of a medal. So let's see what Mr. Medal Guy says. Maybe I spent money again recently. Tower Junior. 20 victories. 20 victories? Is that for winning 20 battles in the tower? 50 victories? How many battles did I win in there? Surely not 100. Pinpoint easy. I don't know what that means. What is that medal? Quick, clear, hard. I got a lot of medals that I think probably came from the tower. I did not understand some of those. Is it worth checking the medal case? Probably not, but let's do it anyway. Medal box, sorry. Okay, pinpoint easy. Trainers have cleared area 2, 3, 4, or 5 within 4 battles. I guess it's called Unova's Challenge, so it's version neutral. We know that Black Tower was referred to as Unova's Challenge by some NPCs, but this way they can use exactly the same text in White 2 for White Tree Hollow. It feels a little bit silly. Within 4 battles in Unova's Challenge. Not really used to thinking of that name. Sounds kind of generic, but it's intentionally kind of generic, so it's version neutral, I assume. And quick clear hard. Area 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 within 1,000 steps. Okay. Some of those medals are a little bit odd, but I'm not complaining. I just accidentally registered this as my favorite medal. Let's fix that. There we go. Obviously, my favorite medal is, I don't know, one of the ones that I got for buying lots of stuff. In fact, let's make sure that's registered so that the people know. Indulgent Customer, a medal for rich people who spent $1 million at various shops. Yeah, that's definitely my favorite medal. I want anyone I link with to know that I'm a rich person. As you can see, I'm obviously an ultra-rich billionaire. Okay. These two also want to move elegantly. I assume they both do. Only actually spoke to one of them. These are good Ice Beam targets. And Ice Punch targets. Almost space clicked and used Acid Armor there. Oh, that almost one-shots, but not quite. But then they missed a Hurricane, so that's fine. And the Stab Ice Beam does one-shot. A little bit stronger, huh? I selected Signal Beam, but obviously Strength gets the KO. But they're my PP saving instincts again. Not that it matters at that range, but Whimsicott is weak to Bug in this generation. Obviously, just about anything's KOing there anyway, though. We got a tennis player preparing for the World Championships by doing a Pokemon battle. I'm not sure how that helps. Maybe it's a competitive release kind of thing. This looks like an Ice Beam sweep, though. We've come a long way from, you know, battling a fisherman a few opponents ago. A lot of good Ice Beam targets now. Look at all that experience. 2 level ups just in here. Sheer Cold would be funny. I think the League might have higher levels than North York, and you can't use one-hit KO moves into higher level Pokemon. Otherwise, I would consider dropping Acid Armor. But I think Sheer Cold might actually be useless in at least some situations in those battles, so I don't think it's worth it. Was a funny thought, though. So that was a workout for her, huh? She needs to catch her breath. She also elegantly gives me a Zinc. Did I miscount trainers? Were there only 4 more? This being the 3rd of those? Maybe I counted the multi-battle as 2 trainers, which I didn't mean to do. I don't know. Uh-oh, a water type. It'd be a little bit trickier for North York once again. Well, let's see. This is a stronger North York. Not the same one that fought that fisherman. Dragon Dance immediately. Uh-oh. And then a special attack to follow up, of course. Makes sense. And there's an Ice Beam target. And that makes me think our third Pokemon might also be weak to ice. Let's see. Oh, it's I think this is a guy, but otherwise I'm right. I forgot I'm not facing a tennis player right now. Yep, all dragons. But one of them resists ice. How is that possible? Science can't explain. Last trainer in here. A powerful serve at 120 miles per hour. That's pretty intimidating. Really the boss of this area. Okay, that gets one shot by Ice Beam. North York, can get to level 68 after I switch out and defeat this Jellicent with, I don't know, York? A Toxic, a Payback. I have a Pokemon close to level 70, but not quite there yet. Dodging a Hydro Pump. Let's go. Game kinda laggy. Oh well. Not much to be done about that. Ring Out doesn't activate weak armor for some reason. I have not looked into what that's about. I still don't actually know whether weak armor is tied to physical attacks or contact moves. Honestly, I don't think I'm bothered enough about it to actually look it up. Ring Out feels intuitively like it would activate weak armor, but I've already learned that it doesn't. But also, Payback did a lot of damage. I guess there was no need for the Toxic. Anyway. That'll be level 68 for North York. Might actually swap the experience share to somebody else by the time I'm done with the other athletic facility. Got a powerful present. A Zinc. I'm just rolling in those things. This facility is called Small Court, right? And I think the other one is Big Stadium. You'd think by now I could keep the name straight. Small Court. Big Stadium. Nailed it. I'm gonna go heal. Mostly because I'm kind of low on Ice Beam PP. And this is a good time to interrupt in between facilities. We get another medal? No. Guess we'd be a little greedy so soon to expect another medal. Alright, one more facility, and then league time. And the Elite Four will actually have good teams now, I think. I recall, really disappointed by their first challenge teams, where I think only Chantel's was updated at all from Black and White. That's not true. Marshall's ace was Conkeldurr instead of Mienshao. There might have been some moveset differences, I wasn't looking for that. I don't know whether there was or not. Only Chantel had a different Pokemon, and they still had 4 Pokemon each, which is really underwhelming when, before this generation, Elite Four members always had 5 on a first challenge. Anyway, I'm told I smell like an athlete. Let's see if I can back that up. What a thing to say. Does that just mean I smell like sweat? That's how this guy's introducing himself. Okay, and then he just lands a Thunder immediately. Crazy first impression all around. That Ice Beam didn't do much. I don't have an Electric Resist. It's Thunder. It'll probably miss. Nice. It's Thunder. It'll probably miss. Nice! See? Called it. Oh! Okay, let's switch out against this. This guy told me I smell sweaty. And then he sent out a Jolteon and just spammed Thunder. And landed the first one for a lot of damage. And then I beat the Jolteon. I thought, okay, his next Pokemon is probably more reasonable. We can get a good rhythm going here. They sent out Tyranitar. And I miss a jump kick. Well, somehow that fits this battle. That just feels right, doesn't it? Okay, I don't really want to because it's already pretty strong, but why waste time with a different team member? What am I going to go to York and Toxic this? I did think about it. That's why I have that example in my head, but I think with weak armor, that would be a losing plan. There goes the Tyranitar. What's next? Rayquaza? Okay, Sand Slash. I bet it has Sand Veil. Maybe not. Now what? Sure. That's fine. Alright, a Toronto sweep. Probably the Pokemon that least needed the experience, but it's okay. I missed a jump kick. What can you do? Obviously, Etobicoke's the highest level Pokemon, so has a case for least needing the experience, but having a super strong ringer is kind of nice, like I said. You seem to be getting even stronger. Okay, please take this. Now he's acting like he knows me. And he gave you a PP max, which, you know what? You know what? Some respect to this guy. He went big. He was very bold in his choice of greeting. He spammed Thunder immediately and then sent out a Tyranitar. He went big all the way, and then when he lost, he went big on the reward. A PP max is a pretty serious one, which coming from a guy like that, you know, it's consistent. He is who he is, win or lose. Anyway, running back and healing already. Hopefully we can sweep the rest of the big stadium trainers without too much difficulty. This guy's going to talk about baseball. Or he'll just say that he's the strongest and will work out today. I thought he'd have some fun baseball references for us, but nope. I am the strongest. I will work out today. Okay, thank you, Alex. Alright, let's Signal Beam this, I guess. I could Toxic it, but like, why? That takes so long for the damage to start adding up. And I could just be using Signal Beam for a 3-hit KO. A Scald Burn would be annoying, but I don't have physical attacks on North York. It would just be the damage that would be a problem, and don't have to worry about that if we crit the second Signal Beam and get the KO a little early. I guess I should have seen this coming and been prepared to switch out of it, though. This was pretty obvious, huh? Well, I don't know. Let's bring this in. Get East York a couple KOs. If that Flame Burst doesn't do too much damage. Get close to level 70. That does a lot, but not quite enough. I don't think Simisage will be up to the task of closing this one out. Although I could miss a fly and then get hit hard by I don't know what. Let's see. Okay. Pretty easy. No Tyranitar here. Caitlyn, I think, will actually have a Metagross now, so maybe a Tyranitar is good practice. Got an Iron from that. My strength is home run class. See, that's what I was looking for. Thank you. That's more like it. Arg, annoying. It's none of your business who I cheer for. I don't think I asked. But okay. More monkeys. Sure. I guess I should switch North York out against the fire type again. Let's not waste time here. Let's just do this. Nice, though. One-shots. Might not even get to use Waterfall on the Simiseer. Maybe I should have switched to someone else. Nice level up, though, in North York. One more, and I'll reconsider that experience share. Or Lucky Egg. How many times have I called it an experience share already in this video? Somebody tell me. Lucky Egg is what it is. Of course, everyone knows that. This guy's become a great player. Now let's play ball. See, that's the kind of baseball reference I'm looking for. Let's play ball. That's an Ice Beam target. Nice. Love it. Easy Ice Beam. I'm even faster somehow. That's an Ice Beam target. This is good practice for the champion, am I right? Okay. Next battle. Another iron. So it's all zinc in the other place and iron here. Loading up on defensive vitamins. The base is loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. After that, isn't it obvious? Listen. Listen. Alf or Fred, whichever one said that. I watched the Toronto Blue Jays, my hometown team, lose the World Series this year in a series where... in a 7-game series where there were just incredibly many moments where the Jays would have won if just 1 or 2 more things went right. Like, it happened again and again, and it just never quite broke their way, so no, it's not obvious to me. Very much not the case right now. Thanks for bringing it up. A game-winning homer. We always hope for that clutch play. Yeah, I know what you mean. I was hoping for one of those a few times recently. Anyway. I was hoping for one of those a few times, and then at some points hoping to not see one. You get it. Okay, we move on. Slowpoke. That's the signal beam target. Okay, North York is going to get us to level 70, but there are only 2 battles left. Whatever. This is good training for the champion. No item swap yet. Signal beam target. Max potion, okay. Pretty good. Why do these baseball players keep talking about how strong they are? Like, not that that doesn't matter to baseball, but it's kind of generic, no? Well, at least he has a Pokemon weak to ice. Cubon's a fun pick for a baseball player too, because its bone kind of looks like a bat. I bet Cubone could hit a game-winning home run in the bottom of the 9th. Or at least Marowak could. I bet Cubone could get get some hits. Okay. Should do this. Oh. Well, I hope I land this jump kick. A bit of a mixed track record so far. Hopefully just getting the bad luck out of our system for this episode. There goes the Bisharp. He said something about his blazing fast ball. I don't know why I had trouble saying fast back to back like that. And I guess this guy used to be an athlete too. That seems to be what he's hinting at there. Guess I'll just switch out against this. was fine. You know what? There's no fairy type yet. Mawile's weak to jump kick. And remember when Mawile was a pure steel type is kind of strange now, isn't it? It just feels right that it got another type. And of course that was a long time ago now. That's a jump kick target. That'll be level 75, I think, for Etobicoke, which is pretty good for my strongest Pokemon going into the league. Agree? Because that is where we're going next. The warm-up is done. This guy's wound aches. I guess his athletic career was cut short by injury. I can only assume because he was talking about how he used to be an athlete and then he threw in my wound aches for no other apparent reason. Sure. A lot of people working through some things in this region. What can I say? Is what it is. Warm-up complete, off to the league. I've been tested by Black Tower, Unova's challenge. I'd come up a little bit short. But Marshall said he was waiting for my challenge here. Clearly they're cooking something up for me. It's time to prove myself and show Unova who the strongest trainer in the region is once again. So, no Lucky Egg this time. Let's give everybody their battle item except the one Pokemon with Klutz. So, let me just check that everybody has what I want them to have. Poison Barb, Splash Plate, Scope Lens, Expert Belt, Amulet Coin. I just have to give the Never Melt Ice back to North York. It's right there. Conveniently at the very bottom of the bag. I might as well see how I'm doing for items. I don't have any problem with using those to show that I'm the strongest, because I'm rich. I don't know if you noticed, I have a medal. It's my favorite one, actually. It says that I'm rich. 31. Okay, I'm fine for items. Although, my money's getting pretty high. I think this might still be a generation where you can't actually reach $1 million. I think my money might max out at 999,999. So arguably, I should spend some of it here, but I don't think it's likely to matter. I'll battle Chantal first, obviously. We go in order. I don't know what her lead is. I don't remember that kind of stuff. I'm just going to lead with York. I can click Payback or Toxic Spikes, depending on the situation. Let's go. One more time. How did I get that much money? I guess I've been battling a lot of post-game NPCs with an Amulet Coin, huh? Chantel's room is always fun in this game. Books everywhere. Creepy self-moving lamppost. More books everywhere in the background. And she's writing about Looker. Okay, I didn't see that one coming. Yes, my codename is Looker. He sounded a bit aloof, but his partner Krogunk's strategy was tricky. That's part of a novel I wrote. I absolutely love writing about the close bonds between the trainers and the Pokemon that I've competed against. Could I use you and your Pokemon as a subject? I wonder in what circumstances she met Looker, and is implied to have competed against him. Not necessarily in a league battle, right? But in something. Also, Looker's Krogunk is always kind of interesting because, of course, we see it briefly in Platinum. It got a mention here. I didn't know it was mentioned in this game, but there we go. And then in X and Y, I think it's in X and Y that we learned that Looker used to have a Pokemon and it died. Presumably it's Krogunk, right? But what happened? We'll probably never find out. Like I said, we do briefly see that Krogunk in Platinum. It's not just kind of abstract that it exists. It does make an appearance. Okay, I've got my Toxic Spikes. York got burned and is about to get knocked out. Let's see if I can poison the Cophagrigus too. If nothing else, drawing out her full restore would be nice before I start poisoning other stuff. Okay. Thank you for your sacrifice, York. You'll be back, obviously, for the next battle. What do I bring in on Cophagrigus? It's kind of just not a great matchup for my team. I mean, East York makes sense. For once, a burn is not beneficial because her whole team is immune to Facade, but I can at least use Fly to kill some turns. And East York is immune to Shadow Ball. And East York is about to hit level 70, so it would be nice to get there early on here. And Rodriguez is now about to drop the poison damage. I would like to not be hit by Will-O-Wisp. Okay, great. Got my wish there. Level 70. That's now everyone except York and Scarborough. Frostlass, okay. That'll get poisoned. I guess I'll just switch out to Toronto, because there's probably a big ice type attack coming. Frostlass resists everything that North York can throw at it, but not so with Toronto. Oh, or we could just dodge a Blizzard. I guess I was fine to go for Fly or something there, but this was safer, obviously. I would imagine still a lot of her team is weak to water. Like, she probably still has... this isn't weak to water. It just doesn't match up super well into a water type, but I imagine she still has Golurk and Chandelure. Okay, there's the full restore. She might have more than one. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't really keep track of that kind of thing between games and challenge numbers. But there's a full restore. She might not have another one. And Waterfall's still 2-hit KO. Special defense drop. Bit unfortunate, but I don't think we're taking many hits at this HP range anyway. But it could force me to switch out or something. Before healing, but we'll see. Rift Blim. I'm just going to go ahead and switch to North York right now. Don't want to use up too many Ice Beams, but this is a fine target for one early on. I don't think there are a lot of ice weaknesses in the rest of the Elite Four. There might be some. I don't remember whether Marshall has a Breloom again in this game. Grimsley probably has Crocodile, but I also have other answers to those things. That is some kind of awkward Ice Beam damage, though. It's a 2-hit KO from here. Does she have another full restore? It doesn't look like it. I went for the Toxic there because if she used one, I'd get a couple turns of poison damage, and that plus an Ice Beam would knock out, and I'd only have to use one more Ice Beam. This thing double resists Signal Beam, so I didn't trust that. But don't I feel a tiny bit silly now? I'm just going to switch to a Shadow Ball immunity here. That seems like a good way to cheese this a little bit. She did just use Shadow Ball. Yeah, and there it is again. Golurk. I'm not going to switch to my 4 HP Ice type or my, like, roughly 1/3 HP Water type, so let's just go for a Fly. This is poisoned, of course. Avoid a Stone Edge. I bet the next one hits, even though it is Stone Edge. I just have that feeling. Yep. Somehow I called that one. But now I can bring Toronto back in. Go for a Surf here. Golurk is, I think, more physically than specially bulky. Maybe not. But either one KOs, so it doesn't really matter which water attack I use here. I'm sure of that. Chandelure next. Interesting. What is her last Pokemon? I don't remember. Probably not a Gen 5 mon. We've probably seen all those that she... maybe not. We saw... Oh, it's probably Jellicent, right? Well, we're about to find out. I used Surf there to avoid a possible Flame Body burn, and it just one-shots. The Toxic Spikes have not... Oh, it's Miss Magius. Okay, so it's not a Gen 5 mon. So she doesn't have a Jellicent? Interesting. I figured that would probably outspeed, but it's worth a shot. The Toxic Spikes have not been super useful here. Miss Magius having Levitate is immune. And everybody else, like, it didn't really make a difference to any of my damage rolls, did it? But it was worth a shot. Miss Magius is pretty good special defense, so I'm going to target the physical defense here. Which is why I've gone a Tobacco. Well, that and... I actually don't have a lot else left for this. Okay, Parasog, I just win. This is her last Pokemon. I could just switch around for the rest of the battle, but she might not have good damage into Etobicoke, especially if it gets frozen. Oh, it thawed. What a roller coaster. She had a good move to damage Etobicoke, but it doesn't do very much. Ice Punch will KO. This badge just put itself on a timer anyway, and I have 2 more Pokemon in the back, so the Pair Song was never winning the game. What a strange choice by the AI there. Chantal, I guess, just trying to wrap it up quickly, knowing how this one was going to end. All the Pokemon on both sides battled so bravely, even though they got hurt. Thank you. Okay. It's important to be tough and resilient when you battle, don't you think? You have to accept that both sides will get hurt. You have to understand that the pain of losing is a natural outcome. If you just focus on winning, you can forget that the bond between you and your Pokemon is the most important thing. I try to focus on that bond in my novels. I want them to be full of heart and soul. I was about to say, she went weirdly long there without talking about books. She brought it back around, but there was a decent enough message in there, right? Anyway, that went pretty smoothly, and Chantal has consistently been the most interesting and most challenging Elite Four member so far, so that's a good sign. Like I'd say in both versions that I've played in this series, that's pretty consistently been the case. So definitely feeling good about the rest of this. That's for sure. Well, let's just get everybody healed. There go my fresh waters. What else have I got? Max potions, sure. Can use those up to heal the other 3 Pokemon that need it. And next is Grimsley. What is he going to lead with? Probably something like a Liepard or a Scraggy. I think he has a Drapion. I think I thought that before and he didn't, but he has a full team of 6 now. I think he has a Drapion. So I don't think Toxic Spikes are really worth it, at least before that goes down. I'm just going to lead a Tobico and I can jump kick something like a Liepard, right? That's the idea. Let's see. I mean, there might not even be much to think about because, like I said, Chantal has consistently been the most interesting of all of these, but let's see. Life is a serious battle, and you have to use the tools you're given. It's more important to master the cards you're holding than to complain about the ones your opponents were dealt. Let us begin, and may the best trainer win. Contests like this are proof that you are really living. Well, I'm sure this does okay for proof that you're really living, Grimsley, but let me ask you, have you tried just being really cold all the time? I've heard that can work wonders for knowing that you're alive. Oh, for crying out loud, what am I saying? Let's battle. Jump kick time. Oh, normal gem fake out, that's fun. He's leaning a little bit more on that gambler inspiration, huh? Didn't pay off this time, but that could have made things pretty interesting. Oh, it's actually not KO'd. Wow, okay. I'm actually gonna go North York. Also, his Liepard is female, by the way, which is a little bit interesting because NPC Pokemon usually match the trainer's gender. But I guess female is marginally advantageous if you're using Attract in-game, because a lot of players are going to have a starter on their team, and every starter is more likely to be male than female. It is a very slight... It is situational, but it's a situation that'll come up a decent amount of the time, especially with all the Tepig players probably leading with Emboar against the Dark-type trainer. It is a marginal advantage. They do say the house always wins. But anyway, Signal Beamed through that. This is not such a good Signal Beam target, but it is weak to Fly. That did a lot. Go for it again. That did so much damage. You know you want to try it again. Aw, he wasn't fooled. Maybe the female Liepard wasn't a competitive choice. Scrafty is also female. I don't know, there's some kind of character note here that I'm probably not picking up on. Because it does feel like an intentional choice, because again, it is very common for NPCs and Pokemon to use teams that fully match the trainer's gender. Anyway. There goes that. Houndoom. Okay. Jump kick. Yep. Doesn't KO. Missing a lot of KOs here, Etobicoke. What's going on? This isn't like you. It's fine, though. Crocodile. Intimidate. Yep. Full switch. Well, let's just switch to Toronto. There's probably some nasty hit coming out, but then it probably gets one-shot by waterfall or something, right? Crunch. Big damage. Yeah. I've seen bigger. Oh, it's faster. I think that crit mattered. Judging by the crunch damage, I definitely think that crit mattered. I'm actually in a pretty bad spot now. Hang on. Toronto has 145 speeds. The Crocodile is faster than that. North York has 159 speed. I'm willing to try. Is Crocodile somewhere in the small gap between those numbers? It is. Nice. Or one of these was a speed tie, who knows. Ice Beam doesn't one-shot? I feel like I'm missing a lot of one-shots that I'm expecting to get. I guess that's the Pokemon League for you. Things are a bit more serious, but okay, Ice Punch can close this one out now. Or I can just use Strength and save the Ice Punch PP for Iris. Honestly, Grimsley is putting up more of a fight than Chantal did. Although, not by a lot. But Chantal might be dethroned after all. He doesn't have a Drapion. I could have used Toxic Spikes. This is his second last Pokemon, and I know his ace is Bisharp. He definitely had a Drapion in the black and white rematch. Okay, Lucky Freeze, nice. Now I'm the successful gambler. He definitely had a Drapion in the black and white rematch, and so I kept expecting him to have one in this game, and he never did. I think Getsus had one, so maybe that's why. Maybe it was just something about the distribution of Pokemon between notable bosses. But both times I battled this guy here, I came in prepared for something he didn't have. Or played cautiously around something he didn't have is more like it. And, okay, even with Grimsley's house advantage, it's kind of hard to cover a double weakness, isn't it? Goodbye Bisharp, goodbye Grimsley. But I'd say he's caught up to Chantal. She's not the clear best anymore. She's going to have to get back to the training room. A little less time in the library. Anyway, there are bad ways to win and good ways to lose. What's interesting and troubling is that it's not always clear which is which. A flipped coin doesn't always land on heads or tails. Sometimes it may never land at all. There's nothing left for the loser. I guess that's not true. Everything has a meaning. I just have to use the disappointment as a motivation to get strong. That said, you should take that strength and test it against the rest of the Elite Four. You got it. Okay, Caitlyn next. She might lead with Musharna. I think that's what she does in black and white rematches, but I don't know what's different in this game. It might be worth setting up Toxic Spikes on Caitlyn. She has at least one Steel type. I'm sure she has a Metagross by now. She might also have a Bronzong. But she also has some kind of tanky, pure Psychic types. Does she have Sigilyph? That's also immune to Toxic Spikes. I don't know if Toxic Spikes are really worth it against Caitlyn. I don't have great Psychic type answers, but I have a few bug attacks. A couple of bug attacks. Got Shadow Ball. I'm gonna try leading Toronto and clicking X Scissor into stuff. And Ice Beam if it's Sigilyph, and Water Attack if it's a Steel type. Let's see what that does for me. You like the glowing stairs? Very Hall of Origin. Caitlyn emerging from the flower. A little bit of an upgrade from emerging from a bed in the earlier games. It's me who appeared when the flower opened up. You who have been waiting. You look like a Pokemon trainer with refined strength and deepened kindness. What I look for in my opponent is superb strength. Please unleash your power to the fullest. There we go. Time to unleash my power to the fullest. It is Musharna. Do I set up Toxic Spikes against Marshall, by the way? I think at least one of his Pokemon will have Guts. Also, he could have a Toxicroak, although, again, I think Gets had a Toxicroak, so that might be a reason they don't give one to Marshall. Anyway, Marshall's not the opponent in front of me right now. That did nothing after the Reflect. Okay. Alright, let's swap to my special Bug attack. Scarborough is probably my best Pokemon against Caitlyn, but let's keep that in my back pocket for now. Actually, let's swap to Scarborough immediately because I don't want to be put to sleep by Yawn. And I will switch around to avoid that if need be. Alright, riveting gameplay. Let's go. This is what you're here for, right? She'll run out of PP eventually, or she'll set back up the Reflect now, maybe. We'll see. And this does feel like the optimal way to play if she's just clicking Yawn every turn. Don't tell me this isn't how you deal with this in your playthroughs. Probably like halfway through the PP already. Not too bad, right? Every turn. What are these NPCs thinking? The reason I'm not bringing Toronto back in is she could always just set up the Reflect again. Although I guess that might be for the best, because that would be a turn she's not using Yawn. Actually, if I switched Toronto in and then she went for Reflect while I switched to someone else, that would cut this short. But I don't know, I guess I got it in my head not to do that because I thought I might switch Toronto in while she reset the Reflect immediately, and then I'd have an X-Scissor that doesn't do much and it wouldn't be worth it. But actually, I guess I didn't think this through properly. Anyway, she might be out of PP now because there's a Charge Beam instead, gets the boost, but doesn't do much to begin with, and I hope this Shadow Ball KOs. Things get a little weird if it doesn't because she has a full restore, but using that up would also not be the worst thing, but we're good, the Shadow Ball KOs. That's good. I don't want to have to deal with Musharna stacking boosts. See, that didn't take too terribly long, right? Now let's Shadow Ball this Gothitelle. Hers is at a higher level. I don't know whether it knows Shadow Ball too. Mine's faster, though. That's nice. That didn't do a whole lot. But I do get a special attack boost now from Flatter. So the next one will do more, if I can pull it off. Oh, rough start. Come on, Scar. She does have Shadow Ball. You started with Flatter to, what, to mess with me? Come on, Scarborough, get your head in the game. You just took the drop. I'm not using a full restore right now. You'll take way too much damage afterward. I need you to break through. Okay, maybe full restore would have been fine. Alright, well, not much of a Gothitelle battle. Let's move on from that. Forget it ever happened, and Signal Beam this thing. Oh wait, I actually meant to go Toronto and X-Scissor. I don't actually know which is better, so what does it matter that I got mixed up on which one I intended to pick? I'm not sure the next Signal Beam KOs. That damage looks like a close margin right there. Also, she got the special defense drop again. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, well, using up her full restore is not the worst thing. The special defense drop comes in handy for her there, as I could have fired off another Signal Beam before losing my Mon without it. But she'll probably heal here. I get to land an X-Scissor. Reflect is long gone, thanks to all those Yawn turns. That's a 2-hit KO. So it was better than Signal Beam all along. Oh well. Try Gothitelle. Who's next? Reuniclus. I can exit that too. Also 2-hit KO. Okay, Jolteon guy proves to be good practice, as Caitlyn also just goes for Thunder with no fear. And Toronto, absolutely clutch, survives it. Leftovers might take the Reuniclus out of range. Probably not out of range, but I might miss the KO now because of the leftovers. Nope, I don't. See, that warm up in the sport facilities pays off, as my team knows what to do with Thunder spammers. Here's a Gallade. I guess I'll just sack Toronto here and try to take it out with Fly from East York. I'll probably want to... Oh, I'm faster, huh? I'll probably want to bring Toronto back against the Metagross or something, but that's fine. I have revives. Never mind. So much for that plan. The Waterfall just one-shots this. No sack needed after all. There's the Metagross. I think there's a good chance that an Elite Four trainer in this game with a Metagross has Bullet Punch on it. So I'm gonna full restore because I think she goes for Bullet Punch to snipe the easy KO, and I want to be able to land Surf into this thing. Yep, called that. I feel like any Pokemon League Metagross in most generations is probably gonna have Bullet Punch. Not Gen 3 because Bullet Punch didn't exist yet, but from Gen 4 on. Dodge a Hammer Arm, nice. 2 more Surfs should do it. She used her full restore already. So North York kind of coming in clutch, actually, taking out the full restore by almost not quite KOing the Gothitelle. And then Toronto has been sweeping pretty well since then. Luck comes up a little bit short as she lands the Zen Headbutt, which is, you know, a move you're going to miss pretty often. But it's fine, no big deal. I think Hammer Arm has higher accuracy than Zen Headbutt, and she missed that. And last Pokemon is Sigilyph. Let's try an Ice Beam. I feel like the Elite Four are actually getting marginally more challenging as I go. Like, Caitlyn hasn't done a lot that the others didn't. But I did use an item in this battle, which I didn't do in battle against the other two. I was getting some KOs against Caitlyn that I was missing against Grimsley, but yeah, regardless. Like, I think it's pretty close. I don't think there's a clear strongest one here, which is saying something when Chantel was the clear strongest in earlier appearances by this Elite Four. Chantel has been dethroned. We have a bit of a more egalitarian group, as you would expect from the first Elite Four in the series, where you can challenge them in any order. Their teams are a lot more impressive now that they get to have 6 Pokemon each and they're at high levels. The first Elite Four run in this game was really underwhelming. 4 Pokemon each with barely any changes from Black and White 1 after the regional Pokedex opened up so much. But these teams they're still not amazing, but they're a little bit more like it. This is not a disappointing league anymore, I would say. But anyway, alas, she says, even with the knowledge and skill passed down to my family of trainers, I still can't win. The reason I came here in the first place was to encounter trainers like you. And then she says, when I battle you, I can't help but smile. Because I was able to improve myself, and because you're an excellent trainer. I want to improve and win more elegantly, so I invite you to be my opponent again in the future if you wish. That's nice. Caitlyn is kind of a... She's not really a friendly character, right? She kind of talks down to you. And her implied backstory is, 1, she comes from sort of an elite family, and 2, she has what used to be out-of-control psychic power that kind of isolated her from a lot of the Pokemon training space. So you can kind of understand why she would be not the warmest, friendliest character. But hey, she found an opponent she likes. She said some nice things there. We've earned Caitlyn's appreciation and respect. And now it's time for someone who definitely respects this player character already, and I am going to go for Toxic Spikes against Marshall. If it proves not to be worth it, oh well. Whatever. I'm not worried about his Pokemon having Guts anyway. It's probably just Conkeldurr, and I can outspeed that and hit it with super effective attacks. As always, I like the design of his room in this game. solid, dramatic, fighting type cage match kind of room. Let's go. I thank you deeply for the chance for another round of combat against you. In myself, I seek to develop the strength of a fighter and shatter any weakness in myself, prevailing with the force of my convictions. Victory, decisive victory is my intention. Challenger, here I come. Intense room, intense speech. Intense battle? Let's see. Leading with throw. I remember his throw being really bad in Black 1, but like it has grass knot. But it's probably not so bad in this game. Anyway, let's go straight for the toxic spikes. Yeah, Earthquake is a bit more like it. A lot about this Elite Four is improved. At least between this challenge and the last one. Let's acknowledge Marshall's throw while we're at it. Anyway, that's going to knock out York. I'll just go Scarborough next and start clicking Psychic. I feel weird saying clicking when I'm playing the actual game and not Showdown, but what can I say? That that vocabulary is just so ingrained now. Hey, it survives the Psychic pretty easily. Lands Payback for a lot of damage, but not a KO. So we should be fine here. This will knock out the throw. If he doesn't have a Toxicroak, then we can poison the rest of his team. I don't think he has a Flying type or a Levitator. Oh, he has a Lucario. Okay, can't poison that. Yeah, makes sense. It's a mon that suits him and makes the battle a little more interesting. Good choice. Oh, no Shadow Ball. Uh-oh. Bye, Scarborough. I'm gonna go... This might seem counterintuitive. I'm gonna go Etobicoke, because I probably then am faster and can jump kick this. Don't know if it'll one-shot, but I'm sure it'll do a lot. Unless it misses, but it didn't. Yeah, it did a lot of damage. Does the Saurus Sphere one-shot? Maybe. Nope. There's his full restore. I wasn't sure he'd use it at that range, but hey, we take those. Now that can't cure poison on anything, this jump kick misses. I guess it still was too early to say anything about the accuracy, huh? Should have known better. I thought I was smart saying it after the first jump kick, but then it turned out I needed a second one, and that one missed. And I've only taken one KO, and Marshall has already knocked out half of my team. So maybe he's the toughest member of the Elite Four now. There's a twist. It's probably okay, though. I have items, of course, yeah. And also, East York hasn't come in yet and can do a lot of work against this team. It's definitely East York time now. I don't know if I'm getting an East York sweep, but I'm down to try. The Lucario is faster. Honestly, I didn't see that coming. Like, Unpheasant might not be the fastest bird, but East York has been outspeeding a lot of things throughout the run. But not this. There goes Lucario finally. Absolute menace. Way scarier than Caitlin's Metagross, it turned out. Now here's Sock. I'm just gonna go for Fly. Okay, faster than this, but slower than Lucario. I don't know what's going on. And yet I had a feeling, and it paid off. We get super luck through some of these Pokemon. That wasn't even a crit. No super luck needed. You know what? Maybe we're just so strong now we don't need luck. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Here's Conkeldurr. This might have guts. But I bet it doesn't take a Fly very well either. I think if it had no... I don't know if it can get no guard. Can it get no guard? Does it even get that ability? Guts, Iron Fist. I'm blanking on the third one. Also, hidden abilities are relatively rare this generation. I think no guard attacks like that Stone Edge would hit while flying up high, but now I'm struggling to remember whether Conkeldurr can even get no guard. Maybe it can't. Maybe I'm just confusing it with Machamp. This is the Machamp of this generation. Anyway, I better use a Revive here because this is my last Pokemon already. I'm giving it to Marshall this time. He can be the toughest member of this Elite Four. Sorry, Chantal. you've been surpassed. You actually might have been the easiest battle this time. I know that's probably coming as a shock. But again, this is good. Last time in this game, the first member of the Elite Four was kind of an interesting battle, and then the other three were dead easy sweeps. It is nice to get something other than that this time. Anyway, he used his full restore, so I think I just heal East York here, and Conkeldurr faints, and then gets a little bit awkward. After that, as I'm probably in a revive loop against whatever his next Pokemon is. Sheer Force. Conkeldurr doesn't get No Guard, it gets Guts and Sheer Force, and then its hidden ability is Iron Fist. I guess I was just thinking of Machamp. East York now level 71, but also the last Pokemon standing against Medicham. I don't like it. We're going to keep reviving Scarborough and East York until I can get a little bit more comfortable here again. Oh, Thunder Punch. Yeah, okay. Good thing I didn't just try my luck with a Feather Dance or something. I did not expect Marshall to put up a fight like this. His team is usually, even with a little bit more variety in the types and stuff, his team is usually pretty one-dimensional. Lucario actually adds a lot here, being a steel type and fast and a special attacker, at least the way he's using it. It makes his team a lot more interesting. So, good job Game Freak on that one. Genuinely. Feels a little bit weird to praise a Lucario. A Pokemon that I do think is cool, but I don't understand being marketed as if it's the coolest thing ever. To me, Lucario is an okay Pokemon. But it actually, it really does add a lot to Marshall's team here, so it was a very good choice. Anyway, there goes the Medicham. I believe the Pokemon count is now even, if I'm counting correctly. There's this. Let's just do this. It's kind of cheesy, I know, but... Oh, this is the last one. I miscounted. Throw, Lucario, Sock, Conkeldurr, Medicham, Manchow. Okay, yeah, this is the last one. Pokemon count was even when the Medicham was on the field. I'm cheesing this a bit, but what can I say? I think this was the toughest Elite Four battle of the rematch, and I didn't expect it from Marshall. He really has been improving himself. You'll love to see it. That said, absolutely clutch to take that U-turn. It's super effective, no problem. Psychic knocks this out. Marshall's defeated. The strength shown by you and your Pokemon has deeply impressed me. Please continue to the next room to face the strongest trainer of the Unova region. And he's probably just going to say the same thing again, yeah. I wonder whether he would have... I mean, obviously he would say something different if he were not the last one I battled, right? It's probably always the last one who says something like, go face the champion now. So even though I'm being true to my own tendencies in this game, and in other games with variable Elite Four order, by always doing that same left-to-right order, maybe for the sake of the series I should have scrambled the order at some point, so that I could get some different post-battle dialogue from Marshall, but I don't know. It just didn't feel right to not go in order, you know? Is what it is. But now, one more battle to prove once again that I am the strongest in Unova. The shadowy forces behind Black City can say what they want, but that's what a champion battle is all about, isn't it? So let's go. Down here one more time. I do like this design with the statue elevator that you activate. And then way up the stairs to what was kind of a plain room. Well, it was impressive looking, but it wasn't decorated to the same extent 2 years ago, but now the space-themed room at the top of the mountain. Time to battle among the stars. To get behind that dragon statue one more time. Welcome, Challenger. I've been waiting for this. I guess I have to go up and talk to her now. What? Whoa, where are you going? I just tried to turn around there. I didn't know that would trigger some dialogue, but okay. That'd be funny. Contrarian Black 2 trying to run away from the champion battle. But of course, this hasn't been Contrarian Black 2 in quite a while. Black 2's character growth is old news now, and it's time to battle. Let's play ball. The trainers who came here are trainers who desire victory with every fiber of their being. And they are battling alongside Pokemon that have been through countless difficult battles. If I battle with people like that, not only will I get stronger, my Pokemon will too. And we'll get to know each other even better. Okay, brace yourself. I'm Iris, the Pokemon League champion, and I'm going to defeat you. The giant dragon statue among the stars. Only kind of vaguely shaped in the sprite that we see, but big, imposing. Could it evoke the dragon that Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem once were? In the ancient history of the Unova region? Probably, yeah, it's supposed to be symbolic like that. Anyway, let's see if this Hydreigon will let me get away with setting Toxic Spikes. I'll get one layer. Sure. Now I have to beat Hydreigon somehow. This feels like it probably has a fire attack. Let's go with Tobacco, and I could jump kick it because that's stronger than Ice Punch, but Ice Punch won't miss and do damage to me. I missed a couple of jump kicks this episode. Let's see how much Ice Punch does. That is a 2-hit kick. Oh, that was a crit. Dodge a Focus Blast. Alright, you know what? I'm feeling lucky. Jump kick for the KO. What was I even worried about? This is a Tobacco. The clutch hero of this whole journey. Druddigon, poisoned. Probably has rough skin, but I don't care. Ice Punch. You know what? I'll also take damage on a Pokemon if I switch. So, oh, it doesn't have rough skin. What's this other ability? I don't remember. Outrage does a lot. Oh, it's Life Orb Druddigon. And with the poison, this next Ice Punch might knock it out. Which is good, because I don't have a Steel type to switch in. Fairies haven't been invented yet. Druddigon's gone. Poison and Life Orb damage coming together nicely there. Aggron. I'll just jump kick that. I doubt it one-shots, even though it's a double weakness. This thing is like base 200 defense, and it could have Sturdy. Yeah, it didn't even need Sturdy. It's an Aggron. That's how you deal with a double weakness, but you know what? That's big damage. Softening it up nicely for my water type. Hey, training a Tobacco sometimes ahead of everyone else all those times in Black Tower kind of paying off there. Big KOs, big damage into the Aggron. Is that half of Iris' team going already? Lapras can come in and get poisoned. How else do I get good damage into it? My fighting type attack is gone, but I still have electric and grass type attacks. Let's go. Scarborough's been pretty strong. Dodge a Thunder. Everybody's just throwing off Thunders, and it's not always paying off for them. That PP Max guy really was a good preview for the league. Good warm-up. He even landed one of his Thunders, but anyway. Scarborough's been very strong in the post-game, is what I was starting to say. With the poison damage, we probably beat Lapras. If the Thunderbolt doesn't KO, the poison probably does, I think. And it just missed the KO. But that's definitely poison range. Unfortunately, I think no one on the team will get the experience. Scarborough will get the experience from this and then reach level 70. Silly me. I'm still not believing in my Pokemon quite enough. I really should have learned by now. Also, do I switch Toronto out so Toronto does also get experience from that? I really should know better by now, shouldn't I? Level 78 Haxorus, though. That's a higher level Pokemon than I have on my team. This is, of course, our ace. Let's see how we stand up to this Outrage. I don't have a Steel type. That was the most unnecessary crit in the history of the Pokemon series. I think if I'm sacking somebody at this point to the Outrage, I want it to be Toronto. Because, like, under the right circumstances, maybe I could get a Feather Dance or stall for poison damage with Fly using East York. And North York wants to click Ice Beam, but I don't think North York takes an Outrage. Maybe it does. Toronto just took one. I got Ice Beam with this. It's not as strong, but it'll do a lot. I was gonna say it might use a full restore here, but actually she's locked into Outrage. I don't think she can. My gut is saying I should use a full restore. We know Toronto takes a hit from the Outrage. I don't get the Ice Beam off if I go for it because she just KOs. Well, I think she's going to heal Haxorus pretty soon. There won't be poison damage anymore. But if it's spamming Outrage like this, it can confuse itself. The full restore will cure the confusion right now, but I could switch. I'm going to switch to North York. If North York takes an Outrage, and I do think that's an F, but if it happens, I get a stronger Ice Beam next turn. Iris uses a full restore. Also can click Toxic instead of Ice Beam, but I don't think there's any need for that. Also, she's the champion. She might have multiple full restores. Now, does North York take this Outrage? North York has gotten a lot of dedicated training in this postgame. And it was enough. Oh, that almost KO'd. Okay, we just full restore here. What's her last Pokemon? Archeops, right? So it's all the better that I preserved Toronto. Unfortunately, I think that also means the Toxic Spikes have reached the end of their usefulness. Okay, it's confused. If she doesn't use another full restore right now, then this has a 50% chance, I think it's 50 in this game, to knock itself out. If she does use a full restore, then I should get another Ice Beam after that. Okay, she gets the Outrage. Breaks through and KOs. Unlucky for me. Well, back to doing the same thing with my starter then. You tried, North York. Sometimes it's just not that easy. I'm so proud of the work that you did, weakening this thing. It broke out of confusion already, but she's still spamming Outrage. It's going to confuse itself again right now, actually, immediately. Surely she can't keep breaking through forever. There it is. I think that just leaves an Archeops. And while Tobacco got knocked out a while ago, there's another hero that's been with us for a long time. My starter. The one that I literally chose for being the starter Pokemon that I like least in this generation. An absolute hero like all the others, coming through again and again in this long Pokemon Black 2 journey. Well positioned to hit this Archeops hard with a Waterfall. Let's go. She lands Stone Edge. Unbelievable. Who does that? Doesn't do a whole lot of damage. I mean, it does a lot of damage, but not enough. Waterfall one-shots Archeops. Take that, Benga. I didn't manage to get to you in Unova's challenge, but it is still perfectly clear who the strongest trainer in this region is. Oh, I'm forgetting to read. I got excited and forgot to read Iris's dialogue. Some of you, your Pokemon, me, and my Pokemon. By having a serious battle, we all got to know one another. That's what she's talking about. Better than before. That's what she's talking about. It's a long-standing theme of the series, and it comes up quite a lot in this game. You've heard me talk about it at length if you watch this playthrough. Okay, let's go. The mysterious dragon statue descends into the ground. And we go up into the sun again. A background that kind of looks like it's meant to represent Alder, but he's not here. But, proving once again who the brightest star in this region is. I think she probably said all this last time, and she's pretty standard stuff. I'm a strong trainer, and I have a kind heart, and all that stuff that is how it goes with champions. To the trainer standing before me and to the Pokemon at your side, your beautiful bond has grown strong through battle. In order to make this bond an eternal treasure, your names shall be recorded here. One more time. The 6 Pokemon that won it all once again. Garbodor. Samurott. Gothitelle. Unpheasant. Wapani. And Vanilluxe. Pokemon that have now truly made their mark on history. The way I'm talking, I kind of feel emotionally like this is the end of the series, and the playtime sure looks like it should be. Sunk a lot of hours of this postgame already, but of course we're not done yet. There's actually still quite a bit of postgame left. This is not even especially close to the last episode. There is still more to come, and I keep talking up that I'm the strongest trainer in Unova, but you might be thinking, hang on. You beat the league twice, you beat Alder. We can forget about Benga, who wants to spend that kind of time in Black City. Aren't there some other strong trainers that may yet be something of a test? Aren't you forgetting someone when you call yourself the strongest? Maybe a couple of someones. Well, that's an interesting question, and you'll just have to wait and see, huh? There may yet be more tests ahead, and there are certainly more adventures. There's a finality to seeing the credits roll. But in this case, it's kind of fake because there's more to come. So, see you next time.